Hey everybody, Jeremy here. So what you see in front of you is the nearly completed wave of Marvel Legends What If figures. The only one that's not here is Zombie Captain America, which I'm not including because he doesn't come with the Build-A-Figure piece to build the Watcher. And these are all the figures that you need in order to build the Watcher. So I have reviews on all of these guys. You can go ahead and check those out if you want. But from left to right, we have Sylvie, who's from Loki. I'm not sure why she's in this wave because she's not in What If. But anyway, Heist, Nebula, T'Challa, Star-Lord, Doctor Strange Supreme, Captain Carter, Zombie Hunter, Spider-Man. Each of them comes with at least one piece to build the Watcher, as you see here. And I just wanted to show you all of this together. Now, I'm going to build the Watcher, and it's pretty exciting for me because this is the very first Build-A-Figure that I have ever put together for Marvel Legends. First wave, first Build-A-Figure. So I thought that this is a good way to get started. This was a really good show. All right, so let's put together the Watcher and then I'll review them. Okay, so let's build this Watcher. Very first Marvel Legends Build-A-Figure. All right, so let's get started. Let's take first, I guess, the torso right here. And, you know, I think that Heist Nebula is probably going to be the most important figure out of this whole wave because she comes with the core pieces for the Watcher, you know, like the midsection. I think that the cloth arm goes on the right side, at least according to the picture. And I'll put this regular arm on the left side, the non-cloth arm. Oh, all right, let's make sure that's in there good. There we go, I think. All right, sweet, so we got that. Now the next part, let's go for that lower piece. Now this is pretty interesting. So you have this, which is going to be draped like over his feet. I'm trying to figure out exactly which way it's supposed to go. I feel like this is the front and this is the back. So I'm just going to go with that assumption. But first, the one with the slot in the front, that's the front. And I'm just going to put his legs on. So this is going to be the right leg. I'm going to put the right leg on first, then put on the left leg first, right leg first, then the left leg. There we go. Straighten him out a little bit. All right, so from there, I'm going to take this and just slot it right through. All right. So yeah, I think that's the way that's supposed to go. You see his feet kind of hanging out at the bottom. And then we'll put this piece here inside if we can. All right, it's going to take a little bit of the old elbow grease. Let's try it this way. Let's try to just put it down from the top. Yeah, that's the way to do it. That's the way to do it. So you got to come from the top and push down. Let gravity be your friend and don't try to connect it that way. All right, we're almost done. I put the little back flat piece on there as well. And now the crown. It's a little bit of a struggle for me putting this guy together, but he is finally done, and look at him. He looks pretty awesome. My cat's trying to get at him too. But yeah, he looks good. So let's just get a little closer look at it, check out some of that articulation, and see how he stands up next to all the other figures. Behold the Watcher in all of his bald-headed, creepy glory. I think this figure looks really good. And it kind of reminds me of when I picked up the Marvel Legends Deluxe MODOK figure, which also did a video on, I believe, and how I was just so taken back by the mold in the face, in the paint, in the sculpt. Everything was, it looked really, really good. Like, wow, is this what I've been missing out on when it comes to Marvel Legends? And I kind of feel that way about the Watcher. His head is the best part to me. Just get a closer look at that. Looks really good. Now, granted, you know, it's simplistic. We just have that really kind of a darker olive skin tone with a completely whited out eye. So it's not like there's a lot of detail going into that, but it's the mold. It's the way that his head is shaped. It's the cheekbones, it's the eyebrows, you know, it's just all those features that really stand out. And it's like, man, they really nailed the way that the Watcher looks in What If. Really, really good. Now let's do a quick little 360 so we can see him all the way around. You know, his garb, these robes, is definitely going to be the standout with this figure. I love how it goes in every which direction, almost like it's flowing majestically. Even if there's no wind, it would still be flowing majestically because that's just what the Watcher does. Got that cool little symbol on his chest. I don't know what it's called, but it's done very, very well. As well as the sort of brass like wrist guards or whatever that he's wearing. I think that looks really good. I like how the sleeve flares out there on the right hand, and the paint's really good too. Now, even though we're dealing with a pretty flat blue all the way around, it looks very nice. Now we do got a little bit of a rough edge right there on the edge of the cape. It's not like that on the other side, but you know, still looks pretty good. And on the inside, we have a little bit of texture going on with the cape. So the outside of the cape is just pretty flat, you know, regular. The inside, still flat as far as color goes, but you got a little bit of texture going on there. Now, articulation with the Watcher technically is there, but you're not going to get like half of it, simply because this part here is a pretty stiff accessory here as part of his garments. So it's going to hinder your ability to really make his legs move. If you wanted to make his legs move, you would have to get your hand up in there and kind of try to grab at the thigh in order to like twist the thigh, if that's something that you wanted to do. But if you wanted to move his leg back and forth, you're not going to get too far anyway, because this is going to be blocking you. So you're not going to really get too far. So, you know, without it, of course, the articulation is there just by the way that it's built, but it's not going to be really useful in practice. And the Watcher's not one to really have a lot of articulation with his legs and stuff like that, you know? But where you are going to get the articulation that stands out the most is going to be in the arms and also the torso. So for the arms, of course, you can move them up just about as far as you can before it hits that other piece of cloth right there. But you do have a very nice smooth bend right there at the elbow. You can still rotate the arms forward and back. You can swivel it around like that. You can bring it down to his side, bring it closer to the front of his chest like that. And then you also have the wrist articulation in the hand. So you can kind of have it going back like that. And you can move it forward about that much. And also for his head, you move the head about that far. And you can move it down about that far. I like the way that he looks down because, you know, of course, he's bigger than so many other figures. So I like the fact that you can move him down, move his head down like that, make him look, you know, pretty imposing is what I meant to say. But yeah, I love how smooth the articulation is with his hands though. And I think that's where the most expression is going to be, you know, with his hands. Getting him to stand up by himself is not too bad. I had him pretty good. He was starting to fall a little bit, but his feet are nice and wide at the bottom. So I didn't have to really do any messing around with him in order to get him to stand up by himself. He does that pretty good on his own. And as for the torso articulation, it cuts like right there. So you can turn him really easily. Really easy, and it's quite smooth as well. If you want to move it back and forth, you can kinda, but you know, it's really not going to matter too much. Same thing if you wanted to kind of bend him backwards, you know, again, it's not going to matter too much. Most of it is just going to be there to the left and to the right. But yeah, that's pretty much as far as the articulation goes. This figure is definitely just going to be one that it just kind of goes along with his namesake. He can be one to sort of just watch over your other figures in that imposing stance that he has. As a matter of fact, let's bring out one of the other figures so that we can do a little bit of a size comparison. He's closest to me, so Doctor Strange Supreme. So let's just bring him out, and you can kind of see here how much larger he is in stature compared to Doctor Strange, which is like a 6-inch figure. And let's get one that's probably a little bit smaller. Here's Sylvie. So here's Sylvie next to the Watcher, Doctor Strange Supreme next to the Watcher. So yeah, it's a pretty noticeable difference. So you can definitely stand him up in the back and just kind of have him hovering, you know, kind of like how he does in the show. So like I said, this was my very first Marvel Legends Build-A-Figure wave that I bought all the figures, I completed it, and I put it all together, and this was pretty awesome. I don't do this with Marvel Legends. I don't usually collect them, but because of the Marvel What If series and I'm such a big fan of the show, I just wanted to get all these characters to sort of remember that and commemorate it, and I'm glad I did because, you know, I don't think I could have started off in any better way with the Watcher as the Build-A-Figure. So that is it. That's it, you guys. You want to go out and get all these figures? They're going to be around $23 each. You got to get 6 of them, so it's not cheap. But another thing that you can do is you can kind of just sort of hang back, and if you just want to build a figure, kind of see what he's going to be going for on the third-party markets. You will most likely save money that way if all you care about is the Build-A-Figure. But, you know, if you want to just have the characters from the show and have something different, then yeah, you can go ahead and try to pick up the rest of these figures. Places where I got these spread out between GameStop.com and Walmart.com. So you can start there if you want to try to get them right now without having to pre-order them. But otherwise, they're available everywhere. You just got to be a little bit patient, wait for that stock to come in. So that's it. Thank you all so much for watching. Till next time, I'm Jeremy. Talk to you later.